Hey everybody, we are back at it once again. It's the first Tuesday of the month. And for those of you who have been around, you know what that means. It's time to get into some RPG Elite philosophy. Oh yeah. Before we get started, let me introduce myself for those of you who are new to the channel. My name is Servant of Shiloh, and this is RPG Elite, the place where I focus on putting the RP back in RPG. And how I do that is by giving you tools, tips, tutorials, and that real talk about the tabletop RPG space and culture. And we're gonna be doing some real talk about RPG Elite philosophy today. Before we get started, I just want to call your attention into joining the Leet squad today. I just got done giving away another copy of Chronos Builder for my Leets who are part of the Leet squad. And you might be wondering, well, how do I join the Leet squad? I want to get in on free giveaways and all the rest of this stuff. Is that right? You don't say. All right, but this is what you do. You're gonna go down in the description. You're gonna click on the first link that you see. It says Leet Squad Sign Up. You're gonna click on that link. It's gonna take you to a landing page. That landing page is gonna ask for your name. It's gonna ask for your email. You're gonna put both of those in. You're gonna hit the blue button and you are going to be a part of the Leet squad. Oh, I've got some things planned for this year. And what? We're month 4. We just started month number 4, y'all. I'm excited. I'm excited. So do that right now and then come back to this video. Today we're gonna be looking at trait number 3 of the last RPG Elite quality of RPG Elites are always striving to improve. And then we're just gonna get straight into this trait. Let's get this party started. I want to do a quick review for those of you who might be new to this series. So what we've talked about in this last quality for an RPG Elite is that there are actually 4 traits to it. And we've gone over 2 of them. So let me give you the cliff notes. The first one we went over was high level role playing. For an RPG Elite, this is the place that we like to stay because it is there that the depth of the evolving story engages us the most. So we will practice, we will have all these different things that we will want to add to the character as we use them as our avatar. So whether that be we do a voice or whether it be that we just work on our tone and how to express ourselves as the avatar or as the character. This is the place where the deepest immersion happens for the RPG Elite, which is why it's one of the #1 places we will focus on improving from session to session. Now, the second one was mid-level role-playing, which works hand in hand with high-level role-playing, one that just gets kind of overlooked all of the time, and that is descriptions, interesting descriptions. Deep descriptions sometimes, but most of all, engaging descriptions. Not banal descriptions saying the same thing and over, you know, even short but impactful descriptions will make a session very interesting and keep the people around the table engaged. And of course, this is not just the GM, this is everybody around the table. I spent 2 videos talking about mid-level role-playing and how to strengthen that trait. Well, today we're gonna go with number 3 in the 4 traits of an RPG Elite that they focus on improving. So let's get started. Preparation. That's the place that we want to improve in. Now, why is this important? Because when you are better prepared in your sessions will go smoother. Now, it's not to say that you're going to be prepared for every single situation that happens during the session. That's not what I mean. I'm talking about the major things that you need to be prepared for, that you don't have to waste time on during the session. An RPG Elite, whether you're a player or whether you're a GM, they're going to focus on being prepared so that they can just flow with the direction of the story, no matter where it goes. There's an old adage, and we've probably all heard it. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. With an RPG Elite session, that is very true. Because we take this rather seriously, and there's multiple reasons why, and I'll have to do separate videos on that, but because we take this very seriously, we are not going to try to waste time with things that, wait a minute, if we would have just prepared for that ahead of time, we could have gotten done with much more in this session. But because there was a lack of preparation, it's very lackadaisical, and you guys know how that goes. And the session lasts, 2-3 hours when it could have just lasted 1 hour in that place. This is what preparation will do. It will make RPG Elite sessions more efficient. And really, it'll just make any tabletop RPG session more efficient. But that's if you want it. And RPG Elites want that, and that's why we focus on that. So again, this is going to be true whether you're a GM or whether you're a player. Today, I'm just going to focus on the GM because the player part, well, see, most people don't focus on that, and there are a ton of things you can do as a player, and they just never get done, and I just don't understand this stuff. And so I'm just going to do a separate video for that. Today, though, we're going to do the GM, because for the GM, what? It's expected. But for the RPG Elite GM, it's going to be a little different. Now, let me stress that this is not for all people who play tabletop RPGs. Remember, the name of the video is RPG Elite Philosophy. So this is for people who are interested in implementing this. This is for people who are RPG Elites or want to expand understanding what an RPG Elite is and then incorporate it into their sessions. I need to say that because, number one, this could be the first video that somebody sees on this channel, and if it is, then they would need to know that. But then number two, and unfortunately this is the case, there's just people who just don't pay attention. They think that this is for everybody, and you're coming to RPG Elite to hear RPG Elite Philosophy, and RPG Elite Philosophy is actually in the title of the video. So who do you think this is for? Hello? It's for RPG Elites. Again, I don't know why, but some people just don't pay attention. I need to stress that. Now, let's move on. I'm going to give you some of the foundational things that an RPG Elite GM will focus on first. And this is in order of importance. Let's say you didn't have the time this week. I don't know, maybe something crazy went on. You really didn't have the time. You only got a few hours. What are you going to focus on? These three things are the things an RPG Elite GM will focus on getting done first. Let's hit to number one. Yes, descriptions. That's what we are going to focus on. Now, why? Because it's the descriptions that are going to engage everyone around the table more than all the rest of this other stuff, especially the other stuff that we'll talk about a little bit later. These key descriptions of like locations or people or objects, these things need to be pre-written. And then if you're not really good at emoting when you read something, instead of just reading like this as I'm talking to you, don't ever read a description like that, okay? Then you need to practice too on top of that. But it needs to be impactful, engaging descriptions that give enough information without being like too long and, going off the cuff. So you want to use this when you want to shine the light on something important or add immersion, or maybe you just want to sprinkle some flavor into the adventure. Then you want to focus on interesting and engaging descriptions. Those are two important things, and a lot of times impactful as much as you possibly can. Now, I'm talking about the ones that you pre-write. You'll just have to have experience to think of that stuff off the top of the dome. And really, I suggest that you go back and look at the previous videos that talked about how to strengthen your mid-level role play, because at the end of the day, this is what this is. You know what the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, that's true, and RPG elites have them on tap, have enough of them to where there is no, oh, I should maybe have one for this. Hold on, people. No, we don't need to do that during the session. If you didn't get it, then you're just gonna have to learn to do the first one. Describe. If you have an image, oh, it's gonna make your life oh so much more simple as a GM, an RPG elite GM, that is. Well, let me give you an example here. It will be a whole lot easier for you to say a little something like this. As you turn the corner in the dark corridor, beyond the wide threshold, 20 feet in front of you, you see this in the middle of the room. See that? See how simple that was? So this is going to do a couple of things. Number one, it's going to engage the minds of everyone around the table. They're looking at the image and they're saying, okay, this is what we see. And number two, it keeps things consistent. This is a problem with theater of the mind, because everybody might be having a different image in their mind. So use images as much as is needed to keep things consistent. Now, of course, players are going to have questions about the image if there's some information that they want, and that's fine, but at least it's keeping things consistent and everybody's on the same page as to what something actually looks like. And then you can just move on in the adventure. When you go strictly theater of the mind, it just slows things down. It's unnecessary descriptions when you could just put up an image. Just slows it down. You want to keep things moving. Pacing is a thing for a GM. It's probably one of the hardest things to get a grasp of, but you want to keep it going at a moderate pace, maybe speed it up a little bit, even though it slows down, but you want to try to give the tension of speeding it up when combat happens or something like that. But pacing is a thing that you have to be aware of, and images will help you with that. It will help you with your pacing as a GM or an RPG elite GM. NPCs are important. This is how you will be interacting with everyone else at the table as the GM. This is how you're going to make things interesting. This is where you get to use some of that high-level role-playing. So in order to do that, you need to have everything prepared, notes on your NPCs, and all of the pertinent information that's needed, like stats, practical stuff. Whenever you can, as we just told you before, use images, especially here with NPCs. You want your players to connect with them. You want them to have a certain look or image in their mind when they think about these characters, not some kind of amorphous, undefined thing that everyone has to kind of make up in their head as you keep going. Now, I'm only talking about major and supporting NPCs or recurring NPCs. I'm not talking about somebody who's just going to show up once ever and that's it. We ain't talking about them. Add an image to make, number one, your life easier. Number two, just to add more of a connection for the players. Again, this is what we're going for, a deeper, more immersive tabletop RPG session. Now, whether a character is major or supporting is going to dictate how much time you're going to spend on them. It doesn't mean that every character needs to be like fully fleshed out. No, only major NPCs need that. Maybe they need a full background, full stats, a whole nine. But if you only have a supporting character and even a recurring supporting character, maybe what you need is just 2 or 3 power adjectives for them, some of their basic stats and things like that, and then go on about your business. And also, let's not forget, I'm beating this one like a dead horse, an image. In addition, you might want to write some little extra notes in there, things that can't be ascertained from the image, like if they are haughty or if they have a twitch or something like that. So just write these little notes down for your NPCs and have all of this stuff prepared. So in case they run into an NPC that they didn't plan on running into, you're already good to go. Okay, so when I originally recorded this video, I recorded the whole thing, and there's a whole other section for being an RPG Elite GM, but I'm going to stop it right here because I think that this is a really good place to stop it. Now, if you've gotten any value out of this video, or you were, I don't know, partway entertained, or maybe you learned something that you didn't know, hey, can you do it, brother solid? Can you give me a little bit of YouTube algorithm love and crush the like button for a brother? Also, look, we've got plenty of RPG Elite philosophy videos as well as plenty others on the channel. We're coming up on 200 videos here. So we got a little bit for you to watch. And if you want to stick around, then go ahead, consider subscribing. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. I come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday, and I got other stuff that I post here as well. Well, the question of the vid is another reason why I wanted to stop, because I believe that this question is just going to be pertinent to what it is that I've laid out in this video, because I have another question for the other stuff in the next video on the first Tuesday of the month. So let's get into this question of the vid, which is this. Out of these foundational things that I've laid out in this video, which one would you consider yourselves the strongest at, and which one would you consider yourself the weakest at? And of course, this is for the GMs out there, but also it's for anybody who is even considering GMing as well. Inquiring minds want to know. Let me know down in the comments below. All right, that's going to do it for me. My brother's getting ready to pull his snuggle bus.
Selective, stage left.
Hey, if you've got a session this week, I hope it is an RPG Elite session. I hope it's fantastic. And also, well, if you want to watch some more videos, here they are. This is the RPG Elite Philosophy playlist. Have at it, y'all. I'm getting ready to get out of here. 5,000 elites, y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to be outie.